Republican Congressman Jeff Fortenberry has been indicted on federal charges for allegedly lying to the FBI. Now, this has to do with some of the campaign donations he received and how he proceeded to lie about those campaign donations. Keep in mind, this is in America where we have legalized bribery. But there are still some rules in place, and Fortenberry allegedly broke those rules. Fortenberry was expected to be arraigned Wednesday, meaning today, on charges that he lied to federal investigators about illegal campaign payments funneled to him by a Lebanese-Nigerian billionaire. In a video, Fortenberry maintained his innocence. He is blaming the prosecution on politics, even though the investigation actually began under the Trump administration. So I have more details on what he is accused of, what he's been indicted on. But before I do that, I do want to turn to the video that was referenced in that graphic. This was Fortenberry trying to get ahead of the story. Let's watch.
I wanted to send you a video because we do have something hard to tell you. About 5.5 years ago, a person from overseas illegally moved money to my campaign. I didn't know anything about this and used some other Americans to do so. They were all caught and punished, thankfully. About 2.5 years ago, I had a knock on my door on a weekend. They were FBI agents from California. I let them in my house. I answered their questions. Later, we went back and answered further questions. I told them what I knew and what I understood. They've accused me of lying to them and are charging me with this. We're shocked. We're stunned. I feel so personally betrayed. We thought we were trying to help.
Fascinating that he's shocked because apparently he was notified of the illegal campaign contribution, but didn't do anything about it. Said, essentially through his actions that he didn't really have much of a problem with it. Then he lied to investigators, allegedly, which is why he's been indicted. So the amount of foreign money funneled into his campaign amounted to $30,000. Was it worth it, really? $30,000, okay. Despite learning about the illegal campaign contribution, Fortenberry did not file an amended report with the Federal Elections Commission. Then he lied about what he knew about the scheme in 2 different interviews with the feds. One that took place in March of 2019, the other took place in July of 2019, when Donald Trump was president, by the way. So to say that this is politically motivated is clearly ridiculous. Now, TYT Investigates also broke a story that found that Fortenberry is a member of the family. That's the rabid right-wing group behind the annual prayer breakfast. And the prayer breakfast is essentially an opportunity to do some more lobbying. Democrats, unfortunately, have attended it. Democratic presidents have attended it. But through TYT Investigates reporting and some pressure, some congressional Democrats have now said and pledged that they won't go to the annual prayer breakfast. Now, I want to give you more details about his ties, Fortenberry's ties to the family. So Representative Mark Siljander went to jail for funneling funds tied to a terrorist organization through the family. He was pardoned last year by Donald Trump, of course. The family also played cameo roles in the sex scandals of then Governors Mark Sanford, who apparently really loves to hike the Appalachian Trail with mistresses, then Senator John Ensign and others. Now, Fortenberry has publicly defended, he has defended the National Prayer Breakfast after multiple reports identified the lobbying that transpires there. Common political parlance would call these engagements back channels, Fortenberry wrote. We call them friendships. Yeah, those are his real buddies, the people lobbying, engaging in the bribery. Those are his friends. Now, unlike other members of Congress who attend the breakfast, Fortenberry is actually able to invite people to the National Prayer Breakfast. And I want to give you a sense of who this guy is and who he tends to invite. One was controversial Archbishop Timothy Broglio, who leads the military archdiocese and who recently bucked the Pope to oppose vaccine mandates in the military. He too was invited by Fortenberry in 2016. Broglio had come out alongside evangelical causes before. He supported President Trump's ban on transgender troops and tried to rile up American troops against Obamacare. So there are many issues with the family and the National Prayer Breakfast. There's the corruption tied to it. The National Prayer Breakfast has one funder. This was a story that also broke with TYT Investigates. And that funder is right-winger Franklin Graham, just rabidly anti-LGBT. In 2017, Nebraska Family Alliance Executive Director Karen Bowling posted online that she had been invited to the National Prayer Breakfast by Fortenberry. Bowling's organization opposes LGBTQ and reproductive rights. So look, one thing that we know through TYT Investigates and its reporting is that there are a lot of shady and nefarious foreign figures that also attend the National Prayer Breakfast. Now, I'm speculating here and I want to be clear about that. But I do want to understand a little more about Fortenberry's relationship with this Lebanese-Nigerian donor who illegally contributed $30,000 to his campaign. Remember, the family was also associated with that effort in, I believe it was Uganda. Yes, it was in Uganda to pass this awful bill. It was referred to as the Kill the Gays bill that would implement the death penalty on anyone who was found guilty of being gay. I'm not even kidding. Luckily, in the end, that bill was watered down to, all right, we won't execute gay people, but we'll put them in prison for the rest of their lives. Later, the Ugandan Supreme Court struck it down. But understand that evangelicals who are part of the family, okay, were lobbying for that bill in Uganda. That's what this organization is. So for Fortenberry, it's about the criminal activity that he allegedly engaged in with this campaign donation. But aside from that, his ties to the family make me question other activities. So the investigation is ongoing. He was expected to be arraigned today. He has been indicted on these criminal charges. We'll see how it plays out. But there's no Donald Trump to protect him or pardon him. We'll see where this guy ends up, but it's not looking good for Fortenberry, who is completely pretending to be surprised by these charges.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.